Welcome to today's episode of Collaborative Innovations, where we explore innovation through the voices of those who live it and shape it. My guest today is Isabel Trigo Morais, who is CEO and Executive Board Member of Sociedade, Ponto, Verde, a central player in Portugal's sustainability and circular economy ecosystem. Isabel has a law degree, is a postgraduate qualification and senior business management. She built her career across culture, retail, and sustainability, with roles at Teatro Nacional de São Carlos, Centro Cultural de Belém, Director General of APED, which is the Associação Portuguesa de Empresas de Distribuição. And now she drives Sociedade Ponto Verde's mission to ensure that no packaging ends up in landfills, while inspiring collaboration across industries to build a truly circular future. This is amazing.
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? Just one little detail.
Yes.
Before I thank you for this invitation, I started my career as a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but for a very few time, because it was a very boring life in the courts with the old bureaucracy,
Yes.
and so I suddenly choose another road.
But I mean, I'm sure that being a lawyer, even just a few years, has been very useful through your path towards today.
Yes. Especially the law degree, it's because that's a different way to study and to train your brains and to train the way you look at the problems. So very nice, very good so far.
Amazing. And I see here, and I'm very surprised, this is great, Teatro Nacional de São Carlos.
The Opera House.
The Opera House. And just completely off script, most or many of the happiest years of my life were spent in Largo, São Carlos.
São Carlos.
Because I lived in that Largo, in one of the houses above there, and as did my grandmother. And so we had an amazing relationship with the Opera
theater,
House.
Okay.
And so it was like, wow, São Carlos.
It's a wonderful place. It's a piece of art. It's a treasure. It's the only one. It's the only opera house. Portugal only have one opera house, so it's very interesting. Yes.
Yeah, unique. Yeah. So, well, from there to here,
Yes.
how would you? I mean, so law, retail, art, and now innovation and managing the whole ecosystem in sustainability.
Waste packaging management system.
How do you make choices to where you go and areas you want to explore? How does that work?
So maybe I start to explain. I'm a curious person,
Okay.
and I like to understand what goes around me, and especially I always believe that you can frame things and find different ways to find the different solutions.
Okay.
And I was mentioned to you that I started my career for a brief time being a lawyer. It was too formal. It did a lot of rules you have to follow. You don't have creativity. And I do believe so much in creativity and almost of the things that you have to do in your life. So I think that curiosity and believe that you can do things better. It's the drive force of my life. And that's why I've been working in so many different places. But I also worked in a national theater. It's a lyric theater, and Porto was kind of part-time, very curious. But one thing that's always marvels me is the arts. You can dream with artists. You can learn a lot of artists because they live in the same world. But sometimes you see that creation, that art creation drives us to other worlds, and I think that's amazing. So I like very much art.
Wow, that's true. It's true. Inspirational, the connection with the sublime.
Yes.
And actually novelty. Many of it comes from
Yes,
art
and sometimes
first.
beauty.
And beauty, of
Beauty.
course. Of course. That's beautiful. Thank you for
Okay.
that. Well, and so that makes me think that you are in a role where a lot of this is true. So being curious, because a lot of innovation is happening, a lot of change, but also being creative. You have to be creative to find new solutions and to deal with the whole thing. So it's gathering a lot of these pieces that are good for you, right, from that you are interested in.
In the end of the day, what I feel is that I use that skills. That's a kind of process thinking. I look at a problem, and I like so much, and I tell so many times to my teams, you have to change the obvious.
Yeah.
Try to look ahead. Try to. Is it possible? Okay, it is not possible. Okay. But it's the way you put your eyes on the problems and you put your creativity, your intelligence, your knowledge to find a better solution. That's why innovation. That, as you know, we started this innovation issue in Sociedade Ponto Verde about 4 years ago, and that's because we know that we have to change the rules. We have to change something in the system. We have to transform the system. And innovation, it's a tool. And so it was a journey using innovation to impact. And so we are in the beginning of the journey.
it's I think innovation, and I mean these journeys is you one day after the other, and you increase and you learn in the process. Sometimes the hard way. Sometimes you try things that don't work. And we call them learnings, but there are sometimes your mistakes. And do you remember any of these that are interesting? Like you tried something in innovation and oh no, it didn't work, but we learned quite a lot.
Yes, working for packaging waste and our national packaging system, just to mention that we work in a regulated market.
Yes.
So we had a lot of rules. We operate a license that is given for us from the government of Portugal. And I do strongly believe that innovation and investment in new ideas, it's a way to improve the system. And sometimes you are trying to find a solution for a problem. For example, the glass packaging rate, it's very low. We are not complying with our objectives that are both national and European. And we are looking at the problem, and we are counselors and other companies that we work with. And suddenly you find a detail, which is cork stoppers. So you need to find a solution for the glass bottles, but what about the corks?
That's right.
Corks is an issue. Oh yes, and suddenly you look at the problem and say, no, cork is an issue. It's a very noble material. And then the national industry, which you know, Portuguese, I think we are very proud of the cork industry that we have in the country, and suddenly cork becomes an issue, and then you start to look at the problem and you start to spot opportunities. And it took so long because I like very much that things go faster than they really are. But in the end of the day, we are studying the packaging glass problem, and then you find the cork stoppers, and we are since this year the national authority also considers that we don't need to design a new network of collecting corks, and we can collect the corks in the green bin.
So with the glass, the corks can...
they can go alone. So we are working very intense in that project because it's efficient. It's not much more expensive, and suddenly we find an opportunity to bring this material new life, new opportunities, and to circulate the cork. This is truly circular economy. So it was very interesting, the cork situation.
It's a noble natural material which you can
yes,
probably
it is,
compost.
and the industry will take back all the material because they can recycle everything and produce other materials and other cork stoppers.
It's so glass as well is a very good one, and cork. So both of them. And this is new because I remember, like, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago when we started partnering, working together? There was this mystery about glass. Where is the glass going? Nobody knows if it goes in and out. And so part of the mystery is solved with...
part of the mystery is solved. Yes, it is, because we have worked very strongly. We also finance some educational campaigns with our partners, with municipalities and with other systems that operate the waste management in Portugal. And we know much more things, and we know much more better the problem that we have in glass packaging collection. Now the next step is to change the collecting system to can comply with these collecting rates. So the next challenge is we have to accelerate the transformation and redesign of the process to raise the collecting the amount of glass collected.
Nice. Because of course this is a 101 innovation basic thing, which is if you dig into the problem, you actually get these insights and you tackle the right things, not the things you might think are right, but the right things.
Yes.
And it goes through doing it.
And that's why I have to need to have an open mind.
Indeed. So I have a question here, which is related to packaging, and it's about you as well. And if innovation were a package or packaging, and you could compare it, what would it be? What do you think?
It's interesting because innovation for me it's challenging. Just challenging everything, and if it was a package, I'd like to be some kind of a package. It is difficult to recycle. It's difficult to find where is the right place to discard, and so that's to challenge yourself. Just you looked at the package, okay, she's challenging me. Where do I put this? For example, a baton. Some cosmetic. We have a lot of perfume. It's interesting. It's very feminine.
Of course. But still, nevertheless.
Okay. Maybe men have the same challenges, but these small objects of your day-by-day life that are packaging that needs to be treated like a waste.
I love that. Edge cases. So things that are not obvious, that are challenging to use, that's innovation. Okay, nice. And we also, in preparation of this podcast, one of the things that we asked you was 3 innovations that you consider amazing.
Okay, let me answer you with a very personal experience.
Yes, please.
Because it's funny. So I think an amazing innovation when I was a young children in my father's home, it was the yogurt machine.
Oh,
it was an amazing innovation because we can make yogurts at home and choose the flavors, and I still remember that my brothers brothers liked it some flavor, I liked another one. It was an amazing innovation because we can always have yogurt. You don't have to need to go to the grocery store and the supermarkets after that. So it was a very impactful innovation when I was a child. Then when I was an adolescent, it was my Walkman. Oh, I love so much my Walkman.
That changed everything.
It changed my life. I was with Walkman everywhere I go. It was very nice. Listen to a lot of music with that tapes. Very, very nice. And more when I was an adult, I must tell you that it was a big change. It was the mobile phone. In 1994, we have the mobile phone. It was amazing because we can talk with everybody and almost everybody in every place. And as I was born and lived and studied in Porto, and I changed for Lisbon in 1994, and it was a kind of freedom to have a mobile phone. It was very interesting. So it's very personal. I have another innovations that changed my life. I could mention a lot of the internet, the email, all of things that makes our life easier. But when I look back to my life, I think it was game changers and life changers. Nice. Okay.
Do you still do yogurt at home?
No, I don't.
No, you know why I ask you?
No, I don't.
Because I don't know. A few years back, we worked with a startup. I think near from not Porto exactly, and they were doing yogurt makers with cork. So basically, it's a big bag filled with cork, because what you have to do is maintain the temperature.
Yes.
And so you put the flask with a bit of yogurt and milk, like you heat the milk, and just leave it there overnight, 24 hours, and you have yogurts.
And then you have the bacteria doing their work.
Doing their thing, and you don't need energy. You just need to heat the milk.
Okay.
And I do it now and then. It's a big bag.
Amazing.
If you're into yogurt, I'll make one get to you. And I think you'll enjoy it.
Thank you. Very funny.
But so innovation, and that so we can recycle the cork and make more of these. And I think great. So these are indeed 3 good innovations that affected you personally.
Yes.
And now you're always thinking ahead, and you want speed in things. I understand that, and I've seen that in you. It's very present. Now, if you had a magic wand, then you say, okay, one big innovation, when you think that would change everything today in your sector, what would it be?
It's very, very, very interesting because actually I've been thinking about this solution quite some years ago, 1 year and a half, about 2 years. I'd like to put in the hands of the consumer the collection option of the packaging. So in your mobile phone,
Yes.
in your tablet, you have a solution or an app that provides you this service and the service to collect your waste at your home.
Okay.
So it's a kind of Uber
Yes,
for
yes, yes.
packaging waste.
Yes.
I believe it's very convenient.
Yeah.
I don't have obviously the business case and the business model defined because you have a lot of regulatory barriers and a lot of difficulties to change. But if you look ahead, you think it would be amazing to have in my telephone a solution and a provider that picks me my glass, my plastic, my cans, my cardboard. It was very interesting, and not only for packaging that we work in Sociedade Ponto Verde, but for all kind of waste, everything. So I believe that this kind of solutions that has to be designed and has to be studied will be very convenient, very useful, and in the end of the day, it prevents that waste, packaging waste or any domestic waste to go to the landfill, which is a big challenge that we have to face nowadays in Portugal because we are having our landfills. They are near their full capacity, so we are going to have a serious problem with waste.
Too much.
So we need to adopt circular economy principles, which is to take the value that waste has in itself.
No, of course.
Through recycling.
And it's waste is not a good word because it's you don't see the value because you say waste, it's the garbage. No, it's more.
It's value. Yes.
Yeah, and do you see? I mean, you just Sociedade Ponto Verde just launched an app.
Yes, it's
with a little bit of a mechanism.
Yes,
and
it's the gamification.
Mm-hmm. And do you see maybe in the not near but a little bit medium future maybe it evolving to a kind of an Uber thing? That's your idea. I love it.
Yes. This is our gamification program because we started to understand that our campaigns with all the traditional media need to be redesigned. So we need to speak with everybody, all people all Portuguese. So we designed this solution for the younger one that have the social media. They live in the social media world, and we need to gamification to incentivize them to create awareness and knowledge and information and education about the recycling, about the packaging, about what happens after the packaging go to the bins. And so it is a huge success, and it's funny because we are growing and people that make the download, the app download, and so the app it's a platform where it's a channel that we designed to be more near the consumer, more near the citizen, and to interact with the citizen. That's why we give them presents and some
up to 40,000 euros. I saw.
Yes, 40,000 and bikes and other materials. It's actually we are building a platform to build a very much more closer relation with the consumers. And then the app has a lot of information, takes you all of your things that you don't know about recycling, and then I can use it to raise some new thing, to share data, and always to make some opinion tests. It's very interesting because it's designed for that relationship with the consumer. I don't know if that app will be able to become my Uber for collecting waste. But one thing I know, people want to have solutions on their hands. And it's you may call it an Uber, you may call it a Bolt, you may call it whatever you want. But the solution is you need to redesign simple and very convenient process to raise zero waste packaging in the landfill.
Perfect. I mean, and I fully agree. The simplicity in innovation is important because good things typically come in simple packages. Packaging in simple forms. And so this is yet another case. And everybody has a mobile phone. One of your three innovations. Kids, I already subscribed to the app, so I'm glad to be in the
ecosystem.
In the ecosystem. But I see this yet another way of gathering a lot of data, proximity data. So it's a two-way communication. And do you consider data? What's your view on data and innovation? What's the relationship?
It's not only data and innovation. It's how data are reshaping
Yeah.
our life and are
Okay.
reshaping companies and are reshaping management and the service that we provide to our clients and to the consumers. So data are essential to understand all the process and not only for the company but to the ecosystem, to the value chain.
Of course.
We have in the waste management sector, we have a big challenge because we don't have good data. We have data in Sociedade, Ponto Verde, and the National Environment Agency, and then in the Ministry of Economy, and then in the National Institute of Statistics, and then you report to Eurostat. You have a lot of data, but data is all over. So you have to manage data. You have to pick up, look at data, build a data strategy, and I also suggest, and I have I present this proposal to the authorities, which is we need to create a hub of data.
Of course.
About packaging and about waste management. It's not only packaging; it's waste management, because this data comes from my clients. That one that use packaging to bring the products to the consumer, but only for the national authorities, only for Sociedade, Ponto Verde, and to the consumer, because in the near future we are discussing the digital product passport. The consumer will have again in their hand all the information about that packaging. So you need a lot of data, and you need quality on the data.
Yes, exactly.
So data can help you manage in the system and helps you to, in this case of the digital product passport, to enhance and to give the consumer tools to make the sustainable choice, because in the end of the day it's what we want to do is to give them tools to make the choices that the consumer wants to make.
No, it's I mean, and here I think you already touched on this other aspect of well, let's call it innovation, but progress, which is the collaboration aspect.
Yes.
In the work that you do, you have a lot of stakeholders that you have to, I don't like the word manage, but you have to work with.
Yes, I have to work with and to interact and to share, and sometimes it's not easy because we are counterparts, because my interest or my goal maybe be different of the other one, but anyway we have a huge amount of stakeholders. I could say that every Portuguese is a stakeholder of the Sociedade Ponto Verde, because we work for them. Every day through financing the public system, but we have a lot of stakeholders, and as we work with municipalities, public systems here in Portugal, but also in the Azores and Madeira Island, there are a lot of stakeholders to manage, a lot of people that take decisions. We have too much people taking decisions on this ecosystem, and I think we have the challenge is, everybody take the decisions, but we have to understand and to help everybody on the ecosystem to understand what is the best decision to take in order to fulfill the targets, in order to raise recycling targets of Portugal, in order to have a much more efficient economy, a circular economy. So this alignment of the stakeholders and the ecosystem is crucial for success.
No, I mean, and I think now more and more there is this working in networks, and I think there's no escaping it. It's yours. I mean, every sector. I mean, the health sector the same. Your sector.
Yes.
Even our own.
When you work to the national scale or even in the European scale, because I have a lot of clients that put on market products that they work under the same regulation because we are on the common market. So suddenly, when you stop to think, you have to think in all these stakeholders and in all these markets they operate, so the solutions are difficult to align. And when I look only for Portugal, what I see is someone wants to buy this kind of truck, the other one wants to buy that kind of technology, the other one, they have to interoperate.
Yes,
and then we must partner much more and collaborate much more. Regulators, public agencies, members of the governments, municipalities, consumers, private companies. So it's a challenge. Yes,
it is.
Yes,
and
it is.
In these challenges, is there any partner you remember to be like an unlikely partner that made it work? So somebody like you were not expecting that this kind of partner was going to make the whole thing work, but then hey.
In these programs, the resource program that we developed with your collaboration, one of the things that I learned is that we are trying to identify the problems. So we call startups and innovators to help us find the best solution.
Perfect.
And a big finding on these innovation programs is that, very interesting. Partners like, for example, Turismo Portugal, for example, Brisa, they have the same problems we have. And we used to discuss that kind of problems with municipalities, with public systems, with the private management operators, waste management operator. And then you stop and you think, okay, the ecosystem is bigger. Because the restaurants on the gas stations on the highways have the same problems I have. The tourists have some problems that I can cooperate and find solutions that are very helpful for the tourists. It's very small examples. For example, we need to understand that we have a lot of tourists in Portugal. We are about 10 million Portuguese, and we have about 30 million tourists that come to our country every year. You know, and we use only Portuguese language to communicate. It's not possible.
No, of course not. It's 3 times the population that are coming in every year.
And then you have another one. For example, in France, the yellow bean is for different waste products. And then the green one, it's different in Denmark or in Norway, or even in Germany, the red one is for glass. So, you know, and so suddenly the discovery is what you find is that, there are other nothing obvious partners that share the same problems. So let's get together and let's work together to design the best solutions.
And I think that realization accelerates everybody, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel, because next to you, adjacent industry, highway suppliers like Brisa, they're doing the same thing. So let's do it together. And we see that a lot. And we try to also cross these paths towards innovation through this collaboration. That's why we're in this space. And
you know, one of the challenges, a very interesting project is to build, for example, in the big parks of the highways, urban highways or even other highways. It's to build eco centers, with a place, a funny place where you can bring your children to learn and to play, and to bring back your waste from wood for things you have at home, not only for packaging. You know, what I like to do in Sociedade Ponto Verde is to open your minds. It's not only, I don't have to look only for packaging waste and or packaging issues. It's to look at your ecosystem and understand that we can help each other. So it's very interesting. But again, we have regulatory barriers. We have to discuss this with authorities. Okay, but you know, it's part of the sector.
Fit into what's possible, but you have to
we
extend
have to
the
be
barriers.
aspirational, you know, a little bit aspirational.
Or also to make it fun.
Yes, it's like in the arts. You have to dream.
That's right.
Because if you don't dream, you don't believe that dreaming drives you to some better place than the one you are nowadays. You are not so happy.
Absolutely. And now here I'd like to go, you know, hot takes. This idea.
Yes or no.
Yes or no. So agree or disagree. And I have a few statements. I have a few ideas what you might answer, but let's see. Every product sold should have a mandatory eco label showing its environmental impact.
Disagree.
Oh, okay.
Because the consumer has a lot of labels to read. There's a lot of information, and sometimes they don't understand the information that's in the label of the package. What I think it's much more efficient is to bring the correct information to consumer. For example, on the digital passport. Okay, so stop labeling, because we have a lot. There's a lot of labeling. A very small letters, nobody can read that. So you believe you are doing a very useful. You are providing the consumer very good information. Don't believe that, because consumers don't read.
Okay, so better have a QR code.
A QR code, yes, of course.
Okay. Love it. Thank you. Recycling targets should be tied to executive bonuses.
Yes, of course. I agree.
I thought you would.
Yes.
Would. Okay. Plastic packaging should be banned by 2030.
Disagree.
I imagined you would.
Yes. You know why?
I have an
Because
idea.
you are going to need plastic to serve your life. So the challenge it's not to cut the use of plastic and to ban plastics.
to
It's
recover
the
it.
efficient use of the resource
Yeah.
and make it more sustainable and develop the consumer model looking for the efficiency and the sustainability of plastic. Because there's not another material that can replace plastic for the moment.
I
Okay?
love you saying that because it's such a great material.
Don't make the plastic a devil.
It's not
devil.
exactly.
Okay.
Good.
So
Well, we heard it here
Okay.
at Collaborative Innovations. Keep the plastic, but
Yeah.
treat it as you should.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Innovation budgets for sustainability should be protected from economic downturn cuts.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
It's difficult, but I agree.
It's one of those
It's
tough things,
difficult,
but
yes.
you have to be faithful to principles. This is an interesting one, which I don't know the answer that you would take. So it's better to run 100 small pilots in recycling than one big nationwide campaign. And you've done both, so
In Portugal, I agree with that idea, but especially because in Portugal we have done 30 years of campaigns. Okay, the Portuguese knows how to separate the packaging. They have a lot of information. For the moment, what the country needs to fulfill the recycling targets, it's to pilot innovation, pilot different process, pilot different technologies, look at the rest of the world, bring people to help us to redesign the system. So yes, 100 pilots.
100
I think
pilots.
it's create much more environmental and sustainable value for the sector.
Because there's lots to do, so we have to do the pilots. Great. Every large corporation should have a chief sustainability officer at the C-level.
At the C-level, I agree.
At the C-level. All schools, every school should have mandatory classes on recycling and circular economy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I think there was a movement towards that, but very small towards.
Not only in schools, I
Even
have
more
an
in
idea.
schools,
I have an idea. Every company has a mandatory hours to provide to the training programs from their teams. So why don't pick 10% of that legal hours and that 10% is mandatory to sustainable issues.
Okay. That's good. So that's an add-on to this one. Perfect.
Okay, we have to speak with the government.
All right. Let's lobby the government in a positive way, of course.
Okay.
Deposit return schemes, or DRS.
Yes.
Like the bottles and cans should be expanded to all other types of materials and packaging.
I disagree with the part of all.
All. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I think that it's very interesting to redesign DRS for small electrodomestics or for hairdressers, for mobile phones, a collecting system with a reward, with an incentive, and other things of our day-by-day life, but not for all.
Not for all.
No, not for all.
Okay. No, makes sense. Makes sense.
A DRS for refrigerators.
Yeah. Well, no,
it's not possible. It's
expensive.
expensive.
And then
you have other ways to reach the same target.
Yeah. Okay. So that was it for us for our hot takes for agree disagree. And now you were looking at this a few minutes back. So this is from a movie, Enchanted. I think it's from Disney. And
it looks like.
And the idea here is that he has a very unpopular opinion, but he's very sure of his opinion. And everybody is with a knife and a sword. Yeah. Do you have any such opinion that you hold strongly, but not everybody yet agrees with you?
In Portugal, the consumers are not paying the real cost of managing their waste.
Interesting.
And when sometimes I come up telling that this is not right, that the real cost must be what every Portuguese should pay, it's interesting because we have to pay another. Every time I mention costs in an interview or in a public conference, people don't like to hear that word. But in fact, what I believe, and with benchmark and other experiences, is that if you know exactly that what are you paying for recycling and for collecting your waste, you'll be much more aware of what you should do and what you should not do. Better choices, yes, it is. But every time I've spent in costs. Oh yes, they are.
Yeah.
We have to pay collectively as a citizens and as a consumer. These systems have costs.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
but people don't like
But it's
to hear me
confronting
about
with reality.
costs. No, and it's strategic, and if you want to bring efficiency to the system, it's a pain time. It's a pain, yes, but people don't like to hear the word cost. And in 2, 3, 5, 10 years on the horizon, you are going to save money. So
Yeah, of course. And then you also connect to the real
Yes,
cost of
yes,
things.
yes.
So you make things transparent and proportional
Sad.
to what they are.
Yes,
Okay. Well, that's an unpopular opinion, I'm
very
sure,
unpopular, but with very good
fully
potential
agree.
of results.
Yeah. So we're getting to the very end, and before we just have two things. We have here this Lego box,
Okay.
and guests from previous conversations that we had leave questions for you or for the future guests. So you can pick one of the questions that you have here.
Oh my God.
I don't think none of them are tricky questions. They're just
No. Oh, it's the funny parts. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you read the question
Of
for
course.
me? Yes. I don't know. It's a
Women
rule.
leaders.
Okay.
Do you feel it's relevant to have a quota for women in more leadership roles? And how do you feel it has evolved and impacted companies?
Okay, that's a very interesting issue. I'm very deep inside discussing this kind of issue, but I changed the opinion.
Okay.
Because in the first 20 years ago or 10 years ago, when the discussion comes along and people become more aware of the role of the women in board and in other in companies, in other organizations, no, I don't want quotes. No, I believe so much that we have to be good for our merit and for our commitment with our projects and with our objectives. But it's not truth. It's not truth. And now I changed my mind because I think that the evolution was very slow. I still have this experience, which is enter into a meeting or into a company or a corporate event, and we have a lot of men. Yeah. So where are you women? So now I think we need the quotes to show that a lot of women that they are really good professional and that they know how to do very well their job, and that they bring other skills to management and to companies and to organization. And as I think and as I learn to have this view, and so I subscribe that we need quotas. I have a challenge, and I think that women must be more courageous to show up. And to organize their day-by-day life, because in the end of the day we are talking about another issue, which is how do I have all these roles in my life as a wife or not, or as a mother or as a grandmother, because it's my case, I'm just a grandmother, and your profession and the hours you give to your employee, or if you are some kind of an entrepreneurship or a company leader, it's not easy. So you have to reorganize the roles that you have in your day-by-day lives. So it's a
but so in that sense, make it more women-friendly, because it has to accept that women also have other roles to
yes, of course.
Okay,
yes, of course. For example, when I'm in a meeting and if I'm waiting from one of my children or my sister or someone from my family comes, I say, "Excuse me, and I stopped the meeting and I took the telephone because." You cannot wait for the end of the day to call back. Do you have a problem? What do you need? It's not that way that I like to manage all the roles we have in life.
So I'm glad you got this question. Actually.
Okay, so very funny.
and I can safely say that. So we've been working together for quite a few years, and we admire the work that you've been doing.
Oh, thank you. And my team.
And your team, of course.
Yes,
no, but also you as a female leader, and because you live in a world with a lot of men, and sometimes it's we see you in operation, right? We see you in that context, and I think you do an amazing job. So. Well done. I'm glad that this question came up. You inspire us, and I safely say that to all of us. Last one, you have the opportunity to ask a question to our next guest.
About innovation.
About innovation.
And about geopolitical. I like so much this
Sure.
to understand the world, as I mentioned, when we're starting this conversation, and especially because Draghi report and Letter report brings us to Europeans some challenge. I think Europe and the Europeans, we must look at our problems and try to find some way out of these problems. It's not easy. It's Brussels. It's Europe. Okay, we know everything. But one of the question that arise from this reading of the geopolitical world we live in is, do you believe that Europe can lead innovation?
Oh, wow. Good.
Okay, because we see China, we see the United States, we see small other regions of the country. So we have so much talent, we have so much knowledge. Is it possible?
Good question. I struggle with that a lot.
Okay.
And Isabel, thank you very much.
Okay, Manuel, thank you very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we have to urge innovators to come to our day-by-day life, and to have, and as a leader, you have to create opportunities to the innovators and to innovation if you have resources for that. Okay.
Thank you.
you.